Shalom, Kahal Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that push the word of truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the World War III Daily Update. Shalom and salutations to you as well. I'm going to start right here at Jeremiah 51 and 11. Try to make this quick. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes, the Russians, for his devices against America, Babylon, to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord, Yahweh Shem Shai, the vengeance of his temple. Okay? The third temple goes into the two sticks, if you will. So, make bright the arrows. What arrows? Okay? Missiles. Gather the missile shields. Okay? Hey, this is spiritual. This book is spiritual. All things are spiritual. Okay? All right? Sharpen the arrows, fill the quivers. Silos. Put the missiles in them silos. Right? It was said right after that last assassination attempt on Vlad that they were moving nukes to different bases to load them up onto a quiver would be a B-52. 15 hours ago, Nate, the Canadian prepper, breaking news, state of emergency, Moscow burns, nuclear plant evacuated Zaporizhia. Record wildfires rage. That's in Canada. So, but just listen to his demeanor. Okay, listen to how he delivers. Right, this dude is in Lamentations mourning and woe. Okay, because this guy knows where this thing is going. Even if this is just a normal, they have fires in Russia all the time. They have fires in Russia all the time. It was some nurses that or some female firefighters that were trying on a training lesson and they got out of hand. They say all of this crazy shit on here. Okay, but you know what? You know what that looks like? It looks like Russia's on fire. Looked like somebody dropped a bomb. And then they're saying that it was internal. It was civil. It was the Russians that did it, the ones that are displeased with the war and da-da-da-da. You know what that looks like? Looked like Russia got a big old black eye. All right. No matter what happened last week. Did they launch an attack on Vlad? They have launched several attacks on Vlad. Okay. What is most concerning is normal media is not covering any of this. Something is seriously wrong. They could say anything. Okay? Anyway, let's watch this. And again, listen to his demeanor. I was looking for a particular. I am prepping. All right, let's listen. Listen to his demeanor.
All right. Why do we do this? Why do we keep doing it day after day, documenting the slow motion train wreck that is World War III? I don't know, but we're going to...
That is what? Listen to him again. This is called the World War III Daily Update. He's using the word. I'm letting him speak on our behalf here. Okay? With all of these things going on, what's the biggest thing? In order for us to get out of here and be delivered, right? By way of UFO, right? Right? UFOs are part of this, though. UFOs are part of World War III. Okay. Oh, he said UFO. I said it. I thought it was the Pentagon. I said it?
All right. All right. Why do we do this? Why do we keep doing it day after day, documenting the slow motion train wreck that is World War III? I don't know, but we're going to keep doing it. This massive carcinogenic conflagration that you're seeing behind me here, that's in Moscow, the heart of Moscow, in fact. Like many fires that are raging around the world right now, they're in Russia. Some of these are proven acts of sabotage, others are just unexplained. Why this is so important is that in the run up to Victory Day, there's a lot of mysterious things going on. Victory Day is Russia's cardinal holiday. Okay, it's one of their most important holidays that they celebrate as a culture to commemorate those who have fallen during World War II, of which there were 20 plus million people, I do believe. And it's a very important day for them. I'm going to tell you what else is of critical importance at this juncture. One of those things is the fact that the nuclear power plant in Europe, the largest one, in fact, in Ukraine, is being evacuated as we speak. All along the front lines, evacuations are taking place. There is an increased amount of bomber activity. As I do this video, Russian bombers with glide bombs are en route to Ukraine. Try to put this in perspective, folks. Vladimir Putin just thinks that we tried to assassinate him. Moscow is burning and a counteroffensive is beginning, which may beget a nuclear attack, if not, in the very least, a radiological incident. You see where this is going. The most optimistic of experts at this point, with the exception of Kissinger, who we're going to talk about today, are saying that this only ends in a victor. Somebody has to be victorious. And unfortunately, when one person is victorious in this equation, that begets the use of nuclear weapons from the opposing side. So please put this in perspective. I know it's a slow motion trade wreck and it's hard to remain focused. Many people's adrenal fatigue on the issue of World War III is starting to wear thin. And I get it. But understand that this is the time to be buying the dip. And by that, I mean preparedness. This is the time to be using this relative state of peacetime before the storm, because think about what's going on here. Okay, you're talking about a massive war with a nuclear-powered nation, nuclear-armed nation, the most nuclear-armed nation in the world, who just recently said, their top diplomat just said the following, that the attack on the Kremlin was casus belli with Washington. All of the top Russian diplomats are of the belief that in the very least, Washington was the one who was in some way instrumental in this attack on the Kremlin and may possibly have been trying to assassinate Vladimir Putin himself. That is the thinking. Casus belli, the criterion for that, have been met according to the Russians, which means that they're at war with the United States. Okay, do you get it? Do you get the picture now? You cannot prepare enough for what might potentially be coming. And a great metaphor to understand this, I'm going to take you all around the map and talk about the news stories in greater depth today, but just hear me out for a second. You look at the attritional rate on the front lines, whether it's Bakhmut, Russia. Russia knows that the long-form strategy of this is economic. If their economy can be resilient in the face of all these sanctions, which it appears as though it is, if they can maintain a strong economy, that is all that matters. It doesn't matter how many tanks you lose, doesn't matter how many guys you lose, because this is a war of attrition. I can't remember what
AG1 by Athletic.
War of attrition is basically a meat grinding situation. Okay, you just keep fighting until the last man.
I can't remember what the quote is, but war is about logistics. If you can get the ammo you need to the guys who need it, when they need it, you will win the war. And that is really what it boils down to. Can Russia maintain a robust enough economy to win the conflict? But I want you to apply this to your life, because you see the burn rate of manpower and resources, the rate of expenditure of ammunition. I mean, we're talking about probably hundreds of thousands of rounds just to kill one guy. So to put in perspective with your own preparedness planning, okay, we we have this delusion that, okay, we got 3 months worth of food squared away, and that's going to be enough to carry us through a situation, like a worst case situation like we're talking about here. I have a sneaking suspicion that that's not going to last you 1/10 as long as you think, for a variety of different reasons, whether it's your own burn rate, you helping out other people, maybe you get stuff stolen from you, which is why you need to be watching our home fortification video that we just put out recently, and our other home security videos that we've done in the past, and all those blue strip videos that get widely ignored because people just want to sit here and titillate their adrenal glands. And that's what happens. People get burnt out and they get bored, and it's on and on to the next TikTok. But look at what is going on. The Russians just think we tried to assassinate them. They have a shitload of nuclear weapons. They're deploying them in places that are not typically deployed. We have no more strategic arms agreements. Moscow is on fire. They've been canceling Victory Day parades. They're pulling people back from the front lines in anticipation of a major radiological incident. And there's all types of canards about what is actually going on the front lines, whether that be Ukrainian propaganda or Russian propaganda. The fog of war is so incredibly thick right now. And it may just be the case that the Russians are as transparent as it appears, and that there is no opaqueness to Putin's strategy here, and that it is just what we see. They're just struggling to keep pace. But I mean, these guys have had months to prepare for this so-called counter-offensive. So either they got some tricks up their sleeve and they're trying to do the old bait and switch, and Dr. Peter Vincent Pry, who predicted that the Russians are feigning weakness in order to encourage and coax the Ukrainians into a meat grinder type counteroffensive situation.
Sun Tzu.
Because a couple things are going to happen here, guys. In the next few weeks, when this counteroffensive ensues, they're pulling people back right now. They're evacuating people. They only do that when the shit's about to hit the fan. Historically, that when they start evacuating people out of these regions, the war is coming. It's coming right now. It's coming in hours. It's coming in days. A worst case scenario, I'm going to predict at this point, weeks. I don't think we have weeks until this counteroffensive officially not kicks off, because it's not going to be declared, but until it becomes obvious. If the counteroffensive is successful, which it very well may, because, like I said, if the Russians are as transparent as they make out, and they are just fumbling, trying to play catch up to what the Ukrainians are doing, or currently have the initiative, it appears, then we're in a lot of trouble, okay? A lot of trouble. I know there's people who are just gleeful about the prospect of pushing the Russians out, but these people don't think. They don't have good analytical capabilities, because anybody who's looking at this situation from a geopolitical analyst point of view and understanding what the consequences of certain things are going to be, if Russia gets pushed out of Crimea, bad things are going to happen. I know people just hope that, they're just going to fold, it's going to stay conventional. They don't have the balls to press the button. They don't have the balls to press the button.
What did we read? We read that the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, is stirring up the Russians. Okay? Got to keep in mind what that book called the Bible says. This is what we're watching. We're watching play out what the Bible already says. And this is part of that. Okay? Whoever created this plume of smoke, it looks bad on Russia. So as a result of that, they're like, oh shit, we gotta, somebody's gotta pay for this, right? That's what Vlad is thinking. Oh, I'm looking bad right now. This is a big old black eye. God is doing that, right? Now, Russia is like this. Nigga, we're fighting against the motherfucking United States. Excuse my French. Russia knows who they're fighting against. And it's not the Ukraine. It's not NATO. It's not the EU. Okay? The war is directly between. He might even go into that. Let me see.
Man, we're playing with fire. We're playing with fire. Now, I'm not saying this is a matter of preference. I'm trying to look at this situation objectively. if the Ukrainians make headway, if they bump the Russians from some of the annexed territories, I think the only ones they're going to have any hope in hell of doing so from is maybe the Kherson region, Zaporozhye, and Crimea. But definitely not. Definitely, I don't think the Donbass, but I could be wrong. What do I know? I don't know what they have planned. Okay, there's lots of planes, there's lots of rumor and hearsay floating around this whole situation. But either way, if the Ukrainians get baited into some war they cannot win and they get annihilated, then what happens? Uh-oh, NATO starts to freak out, or Ukraine starts to freak out, and somebody does something provocative to pull NATO into the conflict. I'm telling you, we are getting down to the minute. And I know some people just love the excitement of all this, right? It's like a movie, but unfortunately it's a movie, but it's just slow motion. But please do not relent in your preparedness. This is the time that you're going to regret not committing 10 times the amount of time towards actually doing functional things, towards building up a supply, educating yourself, how to do ham communications, how to do first aid, advanced first aid.
He's selling his wares right now. Get back to what's going on.
How to store food, how to grow food, how to hunt food, how to defend yourself. Okay, just how to start thinking like a prepper. The time is now to go and just download all our old videos and any preparedness stuff you can find on the internet. Because this shit could spiral out of control really, really fast. Everybody's going to be waiting for the green light from the media to freak out. You don't want to be that person on this issue. There's a reason why 1% of the people rule the world. It's because they can see what's about to happen in the future. Not because they can predict the future, because they are mediums or because they are, what's the word I'm looking for?
We're the prophets. We already know. We know the secrets of the kingdom of God. All right, the kingdom of God is coming right after this war. Right? When this war is over, right, it's going to be because the one you call God sent his son, right? The one you call Jesus back to end the war. God's name is Yahweh. His son's name is Yahweh Shai. He's sending him back, and the angel, and they can't be defeated.
Or anything like that. It's because they just kind of can think a few steps ahead. And you got to be that person right now. You got to see what is happening in this situation, regardless of what they're not focusing on in the media. And you got to put the pieces together for yourself. Because understand that it's only a very, very small minority who was ever throughout history, whether it was World War I, World War II, Napoleonic Wars, the Civil War, who could have predicted what was about to happen. It was only a few. I mean, everybody probably had a hunch that it could happen, but the normalcy bias was rife in the majority of the population, and that still stands today. So, now is the time, okay?
Nate is about to cry. Look at look at them eyes, all saggy with tears.
Now is the time to not relent. That doesn't mean freak out and run around, phone up your neighbors and call all your family members and be that guy at the dinner table who just won't shut up. It just means speak softly, carry a big stick, and be ready for things to just get so out of control that you can't believe. That could never, as bad as it ever could be depicted in the movies, squared. Okay? Wow, 11 minutes and 50 seconds in, I haven't even started the damn video yet.
All right. Moscow's on fire. He didn't go into, all right, Russia knows who they're fighting. Okay. Let's go back. All right. Here's what the Most High is doing. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. The Lord, God, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, God in the name of his Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. Who are the kings of the Medes? The kings of the Medes, right, are starting with Vladimir Putin, right? Dmitry Medvedev, I think his name is Dmitry Medvedev. He's a king of the Medes. Even Volodymyr Zelensky is a king of the Medes, right? They're all the same people over there, okay? They're all the same people. But what is God doing? He done stirred up the spirit of it. That's why they're all there fighting each other, number one. But who's got their hands? Who's funding and supplying and arming the Russians? Or for that matter, who's arming one side of the USSR, the Soviet Union, right? Why? Here's a better question. Why is North Korea fighting against South Korea? They're all Koreans. Yeah? But South Korea is being funded and armed by who? Get it? Okay? For his device, whose device? The Lord. Yahweh Shem Yahushua. His device is what? Is against America. Against America for what? To destroy it. God is going to destroy Babylon. How? By the hand of the kings of the Medes. That's Russia. Russia's got the most arrows. Make bright the arrows. What does the term broken arrow mean? If we take broken off of arrow, we just have arrow, right? Well, let's look up broken arrow. What's this? Let's look up broken arrow, shall we? A movie is going to come up, right? Broken arrow. What is broken arrow? Broken arrow meaning a broken arrow is defined as an unexpected event involving what? Nuclear weapons. Arrow. Okay. To date, 6 nuclear weapons have been lost and never recovered. What is an arrow? Broken arrow. Nuclear weapon accident. The arrow is the missile. Okay. Now let's go back. Make bright, not the broken arrows, but the ones that work. The nuclear missiles. Gather the nuclear missile shields. They're not going to work in that day because all of them are going to hit their mark. All right? This is about nuclear missiles. How is God, this guy, going to destroy it? What is it? Babylon. How's he going to? With the nuclear missiles. We'll end on this Joel 3 or 2, Salakia. Joel 2. Here's the missiles. Joel 2. Here's the day that all the missiles hit. Joel 2 and 2. A day of darkness and of gloomy, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong. Right here, we already start likening the nuclear missiles to an army. A great people and a strong. This is talking about an army of nuclear missiles. There hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it. Meaning, after all those nukes are done, they're not going to build nukes no more. All right? We're going into peace. There ain't going to be no more wars. Even to the years of many generations, a fire devoureth before who? Before a great people and a strong. A fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. This is describing a nuclear missile. Okay? Likening them unto an army of people. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them. That's talking about paradise. Idon, paradise. Before they detonate, it's paradise. And behind them, after they detonate, a wilderness. A desolate wilderness. Yea, nothing shall escape them. Escape what? Those nuclear bombs. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. An army before their face, the people shall be much pained. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men, army. They shall climb the wall like men of war, an army. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. Here's the missile shields. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall not walk everyone. One thrust in another is an anti-ballistic missile. We're going to shoot our missile shield. It ain't going to work in that day. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. This is dark sayings, right? This is metaphor. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter into the windows like a thief. Okay? That great army. And the Lord, jump down to 11. The Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. What army? Okay? So the nuclear missiles are being, look at this, the army of locusts. What army? The nuclear bombs. What is he talking about here? What is he talking about?
Did I mention that Canada is on fire right now?
I don't want to hear about Canada. I want to hear about them nukes. So we'll end it right here. Good enough.
Oh.
All right. We know what's coming. Anyway, keep your eyes open this week. Should be, this is only Tuesday. And it's supposed to be war and rumors of war Tuesday, but I guess that'll be tomorrow. So with that, we hope that the elect will edify you, brothers and sisters, with that. Shalom.